Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Pitch Shift, the only podcast with two men, sometimes on chairs, sometimes on couches, usually in a different location, and sometimes a cat shows up and won't get off me while we're trying to record, but I'm fine with it because I love you, Phoebe.
Ain't nobody, get off me. You keep begging us to stop, and we keep coming back strong like a phoenix from the ashes.
Oh ho ho. That ties into what we're going to be talking about today. I have so many cameras. I'm looking at your camera even though it can't see me at all. And then there's that one. And then there's this one, my main camera. I don't know where to look. We're advancing too quickly.
Welcome to ADHD Simulator 2020.
Today we are going to be starting off with two pitches. One for a upcoming superhero movie, but with a twist. This one's based off a true story. And we are also going to be discussing the third movie, a potential third movie, although there's already been a third movie, but it was a prequel, so it doesn't count. But the third movie in the Cube franchise. And we are also going to play a quick little game called Is This Real? Which is sort of similar to the game we played last week, but there's a little twist. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, this one's going to be questioning the existence of God.
As is every episode of Pitch Shift. As you could tell, or you could tell if you're watching this, and you could probably tell if you're listening to it, but there were some audio issues in last week's episode. For whatever reason, the mic I use, one of the channels, I think the left channel, has just gone to shit on it. So I am doing backup with my Meteor mic. I don't know how it sounds. We're rolling the dice on this one. I'm literally running two audio programs at the same time. So we'll see how this goes.
It's going to cancel each other out.
It just doesn't record anything.
Skippy, skip. Making it Skippy.
Do you want to just get started, or do you want to start with the pitches, or do you want to start with the game like last time?
I think we should just go raw dogging it into the game.
Okay, we could start with the game.
I like games. I like my mom.
I like trains. I think we should have equal opportunities for train.
Like the band.
Yes. They don't get their fair due.
No, we need to end train suffrage. We need to get no more trains. Society has progressed past the need for train.
We need to kick train out of the country.
We need to make sure there's a train wreck.
You go to the podcast folder. I'm giving you guys a little tutorial on how to navigate the Pitch Shift folder on my hard drive. You're going to go to that. We're going to go episode 4.
And then you delete System 32. It's all that vaporware just clogging up the space in your hard drive. Just get rid of it.
Okay, so like I said, the way this game is going to work is there are once again 3 options, A, B, or C, and you are going to just pick one, and you're not going to know what it is beforehand, but you're going to pick one. And then I'm going to read it to you, and you are going to answer, is this real? And if you are correct, then that's it. The game's over.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Sweet. Do I have to say it like, is this real? Do I get bonus points?
I don't know how... Well, because you have to determine if it's real.
But I'm asking you, is it real?
Yeah, no, it works. Okay, I'm just having a stroke.
I'm having a Julius Caesar.
So yes, you do have to say it that way. You've made your own hell, so now you must sleep in it.
It's okay, hell isn't real.
But I've got Office? Oh my god, fuck, I'm not even gonna do the show anymore. I've got Microsoft Office.
You got a whole ass digital office, dude.
Phoebe understood, like, what's up. She was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, she's getting the fuck out of here. I'm gonna go use my Google Docs.
I'm gonna go shit in the Google box. But,
more like Poogle.
So, yeah, she do have to say, is this real? But, okay, so, A, B, or C? You just pick
D.
one blindly.
CBD.
CBD oil?
Some kind of CBD. That's that Metallica documentary, some kind of CBD.
Oh yeah, that's some kind of wonderful.
Some kind of
CBD.
wonderful.
So is that you picking C?
Yeah.
Okay. C? Okay.
No, I gotta say it though. I gotta say, is this real?
Well, no, I gotta tell you it.
Oh,
And then you
okay.
gotta know if it's real. Okay. So, C. Wango Tango 2 is a 2014 comedy horror film written and directed by Corey Feldman. The film stars Feldman, F. Murray Abraham, Ernie Hudson, Melissa Joan Hart, Daisy Ridley, and Christopher Walken. The plot centers around an out-of-work child actor and writer, Feldman, who discovers a magical record that grants wishes when played backwards. The film was panned, with critics noting the erratic editing and poor sound mixing as particular issues. The film is also notable for having no connection to 2005's Wango Tango, despite being marketed as a sequel. So, do you think that's real? See, that's the thing. I have to ask you, is this real? So, Steve, is this real?
You know, normally I would say no because the movie itself just like the title. I was gonna say yes, it's based on the title alone, but then I heard Daisy Ridley's in it. I don't know if I've seen her in anything that wasn't a Star War or that one episode of Toast of London.
She was a corpse in an episode of like CSI or something like that.
Oh, nice. So never mind. That gives it a bit more legitimacy. Melissa Joan Hart, huh? I think she's on Nick Arcade once, and the guy kept yelling at her to do a spin dash.
She's mostly in like Christian movies now. She does like pure flick stuff.
It was funny because she played a witch.
She's trying to make up for that so she could get into heaven.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say so you can get back into the Satan's good glutches.
Good glutches.
Good gulches.
This is my brother, Glutches. He smells of fish and he's awful.
This is my sister Blood Gulch.
So, Steve, is this real?
So it sounds like it could be real because Corey Feldman's a fucking crazy person, and it sounds like he be in some piece of shit like this. Like, what was that one movie directed by the guy that made Gremlins that we watched on Netflix?
Joe Dante. I don't even fucking remember what it was called. I had blocked that out of my memory entirely until recently. You're like, what about that weird Netflix movie, Joe Dante with Corey Feldman? I'm like, oh my god. It's like people in a house or something
Yeah.
like that. It was only like 70 or 60 minutes. That fucking thing was awful.
Yeah, it was like he was a ghost. He's a rock star that died, and he was a ghost, and everyone's like, oh, that guy was such a piece of shit, and then they killed them all. And like the one guy got in like a fucking telephone booth and just got electrocuted or something. A telephone booth that was in the house and got electrocuted by it. So I honestly wouldn't put him past him to do this. I am going to say no, because although this sounds really... It sounds like very up the alley of Corey Feldman, much like how some other guy was up his alley when he was a kid. Was it him or was it Haim? Who cares? Probably both. I found it funny that like there was all these guys like Chester Bennington and like Chris Cornell. It's like, oh, they got killed because they knew stuff about Epstein and stuff. And then like, why didn't they kill Corey Feldman? He made a whole documentary. No one talks about it anymore.
That's because nobody watched that one just because it was Corey Feldman.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was like, I don't want to sit through that.
Corey Feldman doesn't deserve a platform.
So you're saying this one is fake?
Yeah, Corey Feldman doesn't deserve a platform.
You're correct. That one is fake. I made that up.
Damn.
Do you want to hear the two real ones?
Sure.
Okay, so had you chosen A, you would have chosen FDR, American Badass.
Yeah.
2012 comedy film spoofing the life and presidency of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. In this version of his life, FDR's polio is caused by werewolves. Werewolves are also behind the Axis powers, and it is up to President Roosevelt to stop them and their plans on world domination. The film stars Barry Bostwick, Lynn Shay, and Bruce McGill.
Hell yeah. Is there a wacky team up scene where Teddy Roosevelt makes like an after credits cameo appearance and then they team up and it was like, oh, family bonding time?
I hope so.
God, fuck yeah.
I just love the explanation of his polio is the result of werewolves.
No other context needed.
But and then B is Half Past Dead is a 2002 American action film written and directed by Don Michael Paul. and produced
Why does
by
that guy have 3 first names?
Don Michael Paul.
That's too many. That guy needs. We need to up his taxes.
He's an entire band. It's Don, Michael, and Paul.
He's just an Emerson, Lake and Palmer fucking cover band. All the instruments at once.
It's written and directed by Don Michael Paul and produced by Steven Seagal.
Hell yeah,
who
market
also
quality.
Starred in the lead role.
Hell yeah.
Alongside Andrew Stevens and Ellie Samaha, the film co-stars Morris Chestnut, Ja Rule,
Yeah.
Tony Plana, Corrupt,
Yeah.
and Nia Peoples. The film tells the story of a criminal who infiltrates a prison to interrogate a prisoner about the location of a fortune in gold, while an undercover FBI agent has to stop him.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Corrupt, that's the name I haven't fucking heard in a while. He's like basically Ice Cube, but not really.
Oh, they should have got Nate Dogg in the movie.
Yeah, well, rest in power, King.
But so yeah, do you wanna get into our pitchy pitch? Our
Hell
bitchy
yeah.
pitch?
Hell yeah. So, do you want to start with Cube or do you want to start with Phoenix Man, Rise from the Ashes?
Let's start with Phoenix Jones. I feel we'll have more to say on that just because it's such an interesting story. I rewatched that
Documentary?
that Atrocity God video last night. That's some good comfy viewing.
It really is.
It's got that sort of true crime style to it, but it's not sometimes I watch those true crime videos and I have to turn them off because it's just people being so blatant about some of the most horrific shit, and it's
Yeah, I was at my grandparents, not the other day, but basically the other day, and there's a thumbnail for a serial killer documentary, 1 hour of sexploitation or some shit. It wasn't necessarily called that, but it's I don't know, man. There's so much exposure to serial killer stuff and all these people fucking falling in love basically with serial killers and stuff. I don't know if that has to do with just everyone just being able to sit at home. It has happened way before that. Everyone just giving them exactly what they want, just idolizing fucking serial killers. And I think that also has in tandem to do with how this fucking guy was just a craving stardom and shit. He would start off as a UFC fighter or something, a boneless UFC fighter, and he's oh, I did it because some guy was hurt my kid. It's yeah, nice origin story, pal. You just did it because you wanted attention.
Well, I was rewatching the thing, and it was so. For those of you who don't know, if you've ever seen a movie like Kick-Ass or anything like that, where it's oh, what if average people tried to be superheroes? I shouldn't say average, but somebody actually trained to be a real superhero. There are just average people who choose to be superheroes.
Yeah,
there's
everyone else in the fucking Range City Defense Force or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, all the nobodies. There are plenty of people who. Hello, Phoebe. There are plenty of people who. This cat, she always makes me nervous.
She's my hero.
But there are plenty of people who do this stuff who are just just normal ass guys who probably are not a threat to anybody.
Yeah.
And should probably sit out most conflict. But then there are these people. There was this one guy. There was Phoenix Jones was his name.
And fucking up motherfuckers was his motherfucking game.
He basically made himself a bulletproof superhero suit, and he
dropped bank on that shit. It was bulletproof and stab proof.
He spent a lot of money on it. He trained he already had martial arts or MMA training and stuff like that. So he put that to use and basically just became an actual superhero. In his origin story was that somebody broke into his car and they left the mask that they broke into his car that they were wearing or something.
Psst, this is a tie-in to our mask episode.
Phoenix Jones is the mask. That's why his hair looks like that. It's plastic. But so he. And then, I guess he wanted to go fight crime, or he saw somebody getting, mugged or something like that, and he put on the mask and scared the guy off or something like that, and that inspired him to be a superhero. And, it's kind of this inspiring story at the start, and then, with knowing everything we know about him now, you have to wonder if just all of that story is bullshit.
It's absolutely bullshit.
Has to be bullshit. But basically, this guy had just such an astounding fall from grace because he was actually going around. He was like, doing citizen's arrest. He had like pepper spray. He had a fucking like net gun.
Yeah.
That he only ever tried to fire like once or something, and he got caught in it. And a cop came by and like before helping him, like laughed and took a picture.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, is exactly what I would have done.
Fuck yeah.
And he had this whole group of people, and they were called like the Rain City Superhero Movement, and they would go on like nightly patrols and stuff like that. And eventually, like he fell from grace so hard that he was like dealing drugs, sometimes like even in like his merch, or I think even in his costume at one point. And like everybody else like hated him because like they gave him money for stuff that he just never delivered on.
Hell yeah.
Just like turned out to be just a total piece of shit. And like there's just so many clips of him just like the dude's nuts. The dude is just absolutely insane.
The dude is like that episode of Sunny where they go to train for the Eagles and they're promised Donovan McNabb is just some fat guy that works at McDonald's.
And then later he shows back up. He's like, I'm Tiger Woods. But the dude, just so many videos like, oh, no, these other people, they're not really superheroes. There's nobody like me. I'm the only person who does what I do. And there was this other guy who tried to, like, be his villain.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, I challenge you, Phoenix Jones. And, like, he made a whole living off it.
Yeah, he made, like, YouTube videos where, like, he called him out. He's, like, pretending to be anonymous or some shit. He's like, you have 24 hours and all that shit. And he got, like, 10 views a video.
And Phoenix Jones like, I don't entertain this or blah, blah, blah. And then that guy, like, after Phoenix Jones got busted for selling crack or whatever the fuck.
He just gave it up.
He like, responds like, oh, this is a shame. I never, like, wanted this from him. I'm like, you're his villain.
Yeah.
What did you want from him?
Well, it's like Batman and the Joker. You can't have one without the other.
Can't have truth without a lover.
Well, he's an idea.
Yeah, so Phoenix Jones, just total nut job, went around being like an actual superhero and like got into some pretty crazy situations. Was there for like a shooting where some lady died.
Yeah.
Later, like, made a comic about his life and like spends a lot of time talking about that and depicts it in the comic. Just really gross, grimy shit.
Yeah, it's like that game. Okay, so there was a game made by this guy. I think his name is Alex, or if it isn't, then I'm not gonna fucking humor him and divulge his real name. But there was a game that did a very similar thing where a guy basically had a self-insert fucking slash fic. It's called Y2K, but the 2 is a Roman numeral, but everyone calls it yick because it makes, every time I see that game, it makes me go yick. So the whole game is revolving around like the end of the world, but also weird sex robots, and like the guy who made it is like, again, self-insert, and he's just a weird egomaniac, and he just basically he's like the hero in or he's like the villain from an alternate universe, and every other version of him failed or became part of him or whatever, and he was the only chosen one, and he's a piece of shit to all of his friends, and they just kind of forgive him for no reason. And then the whole crux of the story is that he fell in love with some girl that like disappeared on an elevator or some shit, and what happened was that was based off of something in real life, that a girl was like murdered on an elevator and they could never fucking solve the case, and like he got obsessed with the story.
Hotel?
Yeah,
no, that thing, like, that's one of those fucking unsolved things that just like creeps me out to my core, because there's the footage there's that like security cam footage of her like getting into the elevator and looking around and stuff, but you don't see anything. It's like, I don't believe in ghosts and stuff like that, but that hotel is supposed to be notoriously haunted.
Yeah.
That's the one time where I'm like, no, that's the ghost. She was murdered by a ghost.
Yeah, no, so this motherfucker just exploits this poor girl's fucking tragedy and then makes it so that he got like super obsessed and simps the fuck out over her. And that kind of just like sort of kind of related, just these two egomaniacs kind of having the unstoppable object meets the immovable force.
Well, it's insane how it's kind of like what I've been talking about with you recently. I kind of talked about it in one of the episodes, but like all these like online personalities who start off sort of very down to earth, just like normal people, and then just very quickly sort of get this ego about them. Like, it's like, it starts off like, I'm just trying to help people, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, I'm the only superhero. I must go out and pepper spray random people who are just like dancing and having a party.
Yeah, this is a call-out post for Ethan Klein of H3 Productions.
We're coming for you, Ethan. We shouldn't say that.
Yeah, he'll be the bold guy, and we'll be the H3, and we'll be the heroes, and then we won't get an ego about us. us.
Oh God, when we blow up, our ego is just gonna be so huge. We're gonna become the president.
these presidents. When we blow up, it'll probably be in a church bombing.
But yeah, so that's basically the story of Phoenix Jones, and we want to tell the story of Phoenix Jones and
As accurately as possible.
And in all honesty, like the stuff we pitch on the show is intentionally terrible.
Yeah.
This is something I think could be good.
Absolutely.
Like somebody's gonna make this eventually.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to trust in those future people. Maybe it'll be us if anybody's stupid enough to give us money to do this shit. But
intense.
Go to our Patreon that we haven't set up. Just send us money on Twitter somehow. But
Donate to my PayPal, Steve42069 at paypal.com.
donate to my PayPig.
I'm the PayPig.
But so like we have to trust in these future professionals that they're going to do things the right way and get, you know, actors who are right for the part but marketable and do all the right choices. So that frees us up to just go fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like we typically do. So let's just jump right into it.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. I don't even have to finish the sentence. Michael B. Jordan's playing
Well, yeah, he played Black Vegeta so well.
I mean, that's a good choice. Like who I think would be a legitimately good choice is Lakeith.
Yeah, Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, because I think he could sort of get that that sort of brashness that like he has. Like that's I don't know. I think he could inhabit that role like really well.
Yeah.
Especially like when you watch, there's those clips of fucking like Phoenix just being like, oh, I want to beat the fuck out of someone right now, dude. I'm in one of these moments.
Yeah. Like his performance in Uncut Gems like lends itself well to that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's like honestly, what I think of most when I think of how he can nail this is the end of that terrible Death Note movie. It's got like the Death Note, and he's like gonna write like.
Wait, Lakeith Stanfield was in Death Note?
Yeah,
Are you fucking kidding me?
He played fucking L.
He played Light Yagami, dude.
Fucking what's his name? The one kid from the Naked Brothers band played Light. And then he played the cop, like L or whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh my fucking god, that's the funniest shit in the world.
And that girl from fucking
Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
No, that girl from fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Nice Guys.
Oh yeah.
Played his like evil girlfriend.
Oh cool.
It was really bad.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Movie. It's one of those things where I feel like it's made by the guy who made You're Next and The Guest.
Oh.
You're Next is pretty good. The Guest I really enjoy.
Yeah, The Guest is awesome.
I'm convinced that guy tricked us into thinking
he wasn't a hack.
Movies. Because everything since then, he made the Death Note movie.
Yeah.
He made fucking Blair Witch.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's doing Kong versus Godzilla, so maybe that'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to fuck up. Even that most recent Godzilla movie, King of Monsters or whatever, like a lot of people didn't like that. I actually kind of I didn't like it that much at first, but I watched it again. I actually really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I mean, the human parts are bad. That's always the problem. But like the fucking monster fights and shit, that's rad.
Well, yeah, that was what everyone was complaining about, though, wasn't it? Everyone was complaining that it was like, oh, this is this big dumb monsters punching each other. It's like, dude, what did you pay for the ticket for then?
I want subtlety and nuance in my Godzilla movie. It's not subtle or nuanced. It reminds me of Me Movie, which I like better.
Just holding up a copy of Pacific Rim.
But yeah, back to point. I think Lakeith can make so either Lakeith or Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
We'll rock paper scissors for it.
Rock, paper, scissors, say, shoot. Oh, shit, I guess 2 out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors, say, shoot. Oh, 3 out of 5. Rock, paper, scissors, say, shoot. Oh, shit. 1, paper, scissors, say, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, says, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, say, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, say, shoot. Michael B. Stanfield.
Well, welcome to the Rock, Paper, Scissors podcast. Okay, so we got Michael B. Jordan playing Phoenix Jones. Who's going to play his purple-haired wife?
Mortimer.
Hey YouTube, it's Mortimer.
Oh my God! Wow!
I was thinking Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
We'll just get her to dye her hair purple or whatever. Or it could be fucking what's her name? I can never remember her actual name. Gengar GF.
Oh yeah. That'd be pretty good.
Laugh Quinn. I don't fucking know.
Shoe on head.
Shoe on head. Ricky Berwick will play his wife.
Oh, Ricky Berwick will play his son.
So yeah, we'll go with Emily Blunt as Purple Lady, whatever the fuck her name was.
Penelope?
Purple Penelope, sure.
Purple pepperoni pizza pie peephole penelope.edu.
I'm gonna be honest. All the other people in the group, at least from all the info we've got, just seem sort of nondescript and the same. So
they're all just nobodies.
So we're just gonna with CGI double them up.
Yeah.
And just it's all gonna be played by the same person.
Wow, cocaine's really popular with the same guy.
So I'm thinking Nick Nolte as the rest of those people.
Well, the one guy was like boneless Punisher, right? So we should get like, I don't know, Thomas Jane.
We should get Thomas Jane.
We should definitely get like one like huge bruiser type that's like actually does all the superhero stuff while like Phoenix Jones takes all the credit.
he just immediately launches into battle, just crime, and just starts punching people.
Yeah.
Anybody in the immediate area. Success rate's about 50-50.
Well, isn't that what happened though? Like he pepper sprayed someone by accident that didn't even do anything?
Oh yeah, it was just like a group of people just sort of like laughing and partying and stuff like that. And he just ran up and started pepper spraying them. And like in his story, it's like, oh, I saw like an altercation and I started running towards it, and they're telling of it. It's just like this fucking man in a golden black suit just ran up to us and started pepper spraying us for dancing.
It's probably because he was fucking getting high off his own supply, dude.
He was just, oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure they found coke on him when he got busted for trying to sell MDMA to a cop.
Yeah, no, that was the thing.
He wasn't even undercover. He was just in plain clothes. He wasn't in plain clothes or anything. He was in full uniform on a horse.
Well, it's like I said that earlier. Well, you are dressed like a cop, but you said you weren't, so I'm gonna take your word.
Yeah, it's a Halloween party.
But I mean, well, like I said, I think he was selling drugs in his costume or something like that. But who's gonna play the cop who busted him? Steve Buscemi?
Yeah, how do you do, fellow kids?
How do you do, fellow superheroes?
You guys, the real heroes. Yeah, tell it to the judge.
And who do you think would be the right director to helm a project of this caliber? Do we go with somebody who's done superhero movies before? Or do we do somebody who hasn't done superhero movies before, who like would like get like sort of do something unique with it? Like, do we get Lars von Trier to direct the Phoenix Jones movie, or do we get somebody like Jon Favreau to sit in a VR chair and walk around a digital set? And I guess that's directing the movie.
We should definitely get Lars von Trier, but only for the scenes where he's on MDMA.
It's special guest director like that
Quentin Tarantino and
like
Sin City.
Sin City. We should get Frank Miller to do it.
Yeah.
He directed that awful Spirit movie where Samuel Jackson's like, I'm the octopus. I got 8 of everything.
Yeah, but Phoenix Jones is a black guy, and Frank Miller ain't all about that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I love when he announced, or when whoever announced the third comic in the fucking Dark Knight Rises or Returns trilogy.
The Master Race.
It was called The Master Race, and just all the comments were like, of course Frank Miller wrote a comic called The Master Race. But for those of you who don't know, famous comic book creator, man who has written so many revolutionary stories that many popular works have been based off of, is just fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Hell yeah.
And just a huge well, he's not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, he's cuckoo for white puffs. He's a racist. And he at one
Rice Krispies.
And he at one point wrote a comic about Batman going to the Middle East and just murdering a bunch of people of wherever the fuck he was. I don't know if he was in Iran or wherever.
That must be what Zack Snyder based his shit off of.
Probably. And then I think somebody even said that. It's like people, Zack Snyder basically makes movies like if Holy Terror ended up actually being a Batman story. Because he tried to publish this as a Batman story and DC was like, no. And he's like, fuck you, I'll just do it anyway. With just some nothing hero I made up. It's called Holy Terror. You can buy it.
You can actually buy this movie. And then at the end of the movie, for the R-rated cut or the unrated cut of Batman v Superman, after he's done killing all his dudes in the Middle East, the producers had to add a little addendum to the movie before the credits rolled. It said it's dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan.
And then they have that sex scene.
You're not that strong.
These are my sex toys. We got Hard Rock Nick on the podcast here.
Hell yeah.
But
why don't girls like nice, pretty, rich guys that have a lot of sex toys from their house in Nevada with the great view where you can see all the airplanes?
If you need anybody who's really stable, I got you guys. Women are really insecure, not confident like me.
where you fuck doggy style, anal only in the bathroom. You get your balls tugged on one by one. You get your ass ate.
What I like to do with this, I like to spank your tits. Go look up Hard Rock Nick. Don't do that. We don't want to drive any traffic to that man.
Well, yeah. In order to date Hard Rock Nick, you have to have these great all these traits. You gotta have. Yeah, you gotta be able to tug on balls one by one. You gotta be white and or passable as white. You gotta eat ass. You gotta basically Hard Rock Nick should be Batman.
Prefer eating pussy from the back.
Yeah.
We're gonna get taken off of all our podcasting platforms for being so vulgar and filthy.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get sued for libel.
By Hard Rock Nick.
It's pretty much the only in he's got.
So, but back to form. So our Phoenix Jones movie is going to be guest directed by Lars von Trier, but who should our main director be? Ron Howard?
Well, that's
just somebody perfectly middle of the road to really accentuate all the Lars von Trier scenes.
Yeah, Ron Howard would be a good pick. I don't know, fucking Mark Webb.
got it, good.
He lied to me. He hated me. That Phoenix Jones is my enemy.
We sing at least once every episode.
And we think we recycled that one song too.
We'll probably come up with a theme song for the Phoenix Jones movie here in a little bit.
Phoenix Jones, selling drugs and take your bones.
I don't practice Santeria.
I ain't got no Phoenix Jones.
Well, I had some crack in MDA, but he sold it all. Really fits with the rhythm.
That's fine. Same syllables, probably.
But,
I don't know. Who would balance it out? Because Ron Howard, like, he made that one movie about, like, Chris Hemsworth and that other guy, and they were supposed to be, like, Formula One race car drivers, and they literally, beat for beats, just stole the pacing of fucking Amadeus.
Oh, yeah, Premium Rush or whatever it was.
Yeah. Like, it was good for what it was, but it was literally, like, to the fucking T, just Amadeus, but with race cars.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that one. I hear that one's pretty good, but
this guy,
he just made like a million things. Like he's got that movie out like on Netflix right now, like Hillbilly Elegy.
Hillbilly.
I don't fucking know.
Hillbilly Alligators.
Yeah, Hillbilly Alligators 2. With no relation to Hillbilly Alligators 1.
What's that one Badasses on the Bayou with Danny Trejo? He has like a shitty beard with no mustache.
I think that's it. But yeah, so I think Ron Howard's a good pick. Good, just someone like very sort of basic, like old school style filmmaker.
Yeah.
To really balance out the Lars von Trier-ness of it all. Okay, so that's good. And who should write it? Who could write something of this caliber?
Frank Miller.
We'll get Frank Miller to write it. And we just won't tell him what Phoenix Jones looks like. And that's how we keep him on the project. And
yeah, it's like Frank Miller's just writing this movie about a white guy with a huge fucking flat top.
And I'm trying to think of I've got a better idea for a theme song. We're gonna get the Venga Boys or the Venga Bus or whatever the hell the name of the group actually was out of retirement to sing the Phoenix Jones theme song, which is going to be Phoenix Jones is coming and pepper spray is pumping. Seattle to San Francisco. Just kidding, only in Seattle. He's going to jail now for selling crack to a cop.
I think in order to, we should have like a non-canon spin-off where Phoenix Jones getting back into the good graces of the public eye by beating up the Proud Boys and the Tiki Torch guys.
Beating up the... that's going to be his... he's going to fight Lamplighter. So it's going to be called the Tiki Torture.
The Tiki Torture made in the People Printer. And his trusty sidekick, Makey Outie.
Okay, yeah, I think that covers the bases on our Phoenix Jones movie. Got a little like history lesson for everybody who might not know that. If you want a full deep dive, just look up the Phoenix Jones video by Atrocity Guide.
Hell yeah.
That's how we know as much as we do about it. Just fascinating deep dive. That's just really good comfort watching.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story, and we're gonna bring that movie to you. Fuck being directed by Ron Howard. It's directed by Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito directs shit. So it's gotta be directed by Danny DeVito, and then just weird, trippy sequences by Lars von Trier. There we go. Phoenix Jones movie.
Phoenix Jones movie. Danny Trejo directed.
Danny Trejo will be there too. It might have been a skull ghost. But, so that brings us into our second and final pitch of the evening. We're going to be talking about Cube 3, or Cubed. And I'm not making this up. That's what the projected Cube 3 would be called. They've been trying to, do it, over time. They just keep trying to do it over the years. And
Cube the Third.
They want it to be called Cubed. And that, I'm that's kind of clever, but also that's just so fucking stupid.
Well, is it cubed with cube 3, to the power of 3, or is it cubed but they replace the E with the 3, driver 3, drive 3er?
It's just spelled out cubed. It's the stupidest option.
I mean, is it? Because, they had all those Saw movies, and they had Jigsaw, and now, what was that spinoff that Chris Rock is supposed to be in?
Spiral?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on with any of that, to be honest.
Naming conventions for movies are so fucking dumb. You had, Rambo, you had First Blood, then you had Rambo First Blood Part 2, then you had Rambo, as its own thing, the sixth installment, then you had Alien, then you had Aliens.
Well, you had Rambo 3, then you had Rambo, and then you had Rambo Last Blood.
Then John Rambo, wasn't that a movie?
No, that's, the latest one was called, Rambo Last Blood.
Yeah.
Before that was called just Rambo, and he murdered, the entire population of Myanmar in the movie.
Hell yeah. And
then people photoshopped the part where he just has, a railgun to just be his thumbs. But yeah, no, that's just... I talked about this on Twitter once. There was a period of time where we named sequels backwards.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
There was The Rage, Carrie 2.
Yeah.
Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. The Lost World, Jurassic Park. And I don't know why. Just all of a sudden, just everybody was like, that's a good idea. And then just very quickly after, everyone's like, no, what the fuck were we doing? That just stopped. I guess just whatever strain of heroin they were on that week in the 90s, or early 2000s or whenever, just caused them to all have the same bad idea and then just quickly be like, nah, that was just a phase, Mom. We're not going to name sequels backwards anymore.
OMG, Mom, it's not a phase. This is what I really am. I like naming my shit backwards, yo. I'm starting to read manga, and I'm going to be the best illustrator you've ever seen. My art teacher doesn't believe me, and he thinks I'm being creatively stifled by only drawing manga. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where they maybe were trying to branch off as less of a sequel, more of a spin-off type thing, but still keeping it in with the original stuff. But the naming convention is really dumb, and that was a dumb gimmick.
I mean, that makes sense for all of those because, Carrie 2 is just Carrie again with just a different person, a different Carrie. I don't even know if her name's Carrie. And fucking Book of Shadows 2 is just a bizarre film, which I hear was originally, much more a commentary on the first movie, and then it just got hacked to pieces, and when you watch it, it kind of has that feel. And then, Lost World, that makes sense because it's really more. It's not about like everybody from Jurassic Park. It's
Just
really
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum, and it's like I have a wife. You never knew I had a wife. She is played by Julianne Moore, and she is gonna make a healthy T-Rex baby, and we're gonna take a T-Rex into an RV that's on the edge of a cliff, and two parent T-Rexes are gonna get mad that their baby is in there because we are being fucking idiots and taking the baby T-Rex in there, and they're going to knock the RV off the side of the cliff, and it's going to be the best part of the movie, but then the movie's gonna continue to go on for like 45 fucking minutes.
It's a sizzler. Please watch.
Please watch. Sorry to everybody for that extended bit. I hope for all of your sake I cut that out of the show entirely.
No, just leave it. It's going in. It's staying in.
If they're truly unlucky, that'll just end up being the video segment.
It'll just be the whole podcast.
But, but anyway, at one point we did name sequels backwards. And
we're worse off for it.
Maybe we should do that with our Cube movie. Maybe it should be called 3 Cube. So
3 cubes and a baby.
So what should the plot be for 3 Cube? For anybody who's not familiar, the plot of the Cube movies is typically
there is no plot.
Yes. Well, it's a bunch of people wake up. You ever played Portal? It's like that, but they don't get a gun that helps them make portals, and they never figure out what the fuck's going on. It's basically a bunch of people who just wake up in a cube, in these cube-shaped rooms, and they just wake up and they don't know why they're there, and they don't know who each other is, and they have to figure out a way out, and some of the rooms are booby-trapped, and in the first movie it's just like spikes and like cutting stuff and stuff like that. In the sequel it's like rooms, just like time operates differently in some of them.
Yeah.
And you can see your own skeleton. Some people have sex in midair and then they like see their own skeletons floating in there later or something like that, or other people see their skeletons floating in there, and it's got some interesting ideas. It's just really fucking bad.
Yeah.
And then there's Cube Zero, which is sort of a prequel, which sort of kind of tells the story of the autistic guy.
Hell yeah.
In the first movie, but it's not quite him because his name is different, and the people that he talks to at the end, they repeat that sort of scene.
Yeah.
But they're different characters, and also like the guy in the first movie is just autistic. Granted, that's not. I don't think that's a good representation.
Yeah, no, it's
of
not
an
great.
autistic person, because I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah,
So,
always banging his head against the wall.
changing him to have brain damage, I guess, is better. But it's probably not. Don't watch the Cube movies. Do watch the Cube movies because there's some interesting ideas in there.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, they're just meant to be like interesting and fun and stuff like that. If you're gonna start thinking about the implicate, maybe that's why they didn't go all the way with it. 'Cause maybe
Yeah.
they're like, oh, and then at the end you'll realize that was that guy, and maybe just somebody's like, are we implying that the autistic guy actually was a normal man who had brain damage?
See, it's funny because I was watching Good Time. You ever see Good Time with Robert Pattinson? I had this theory kind of going on. Granted, I was fucking shit-faced when I was watching it, but I had this theory that because when Robert Pattinson was talking to, I think he was in the Domino's or something, he's like talking to someone who's like, my brother has brain damage. He got bonked on the head when he was walking under a construction site or something. When he took the wrong guy from the prison hospital or whatever, I thought that he had taken his brother, but he didn't recognize him because like maybe he got bonked on the head again when he was in prison, and that he reverted back to his original personality, and that he was more confident and like the power dynamic switch. But it just turns out I was reading too far into it, and that it was totally just face value. He took the wrong guy from the hospital. So maybe they could do something like that, maybe they could, break a TV or something.
It does have a crack here.
Yeah, it is on. It was made by people on crack. Maybe they could do that kind of perspective, or maybe how the thing is like more like a simulation. They keep throwing the same kinds of people in the cube over and over again. Because I've really only seen the first one, and I had started the first one months ago, and then they took it off of fucking Netflix. I think I just finished the earlier before you came over, and like
You finished it while I was here.
yeah. Well, I started it before you came over is what I meant. I also finished it before you came over, but I wasn't paying attention. So, like, the thing about the first Cube movie, well, the only one of the three that I've seen, is that like there's a lot of like visual storytelling and like setup before anyone even says anything. There is like the exposition where like, oh, I'm the master breakout guy, so I gotta give you exposition. I'm gonna do that because it's basically no plot device and it's all just character driven stuff. And like when the first guy, Tarantino, what's his name, Quentin?
Yeah, it's Tarantino.
It's Quentin Reviews, and he's
Quentin is the guy with the goatee.
yeah,
I don't know the name of the guy who looks like Quentin Tarantino.
yeah. So that we have Tarantino, and then we have, I don't know, Stanford. Let's call it Stanford because they're all named, as you pointed out, they're all named after prisons or something, right?
Yeah, and that's an interesting detail.
Yeah, there's a lot of like little like Easter eggs and stuff if you're paying attention. Like in the beginning of the movie, like it's implied that Quentin was like going through traps and stuff because he comes out with like a bloody hand and he had already like a sleeve of like his prison uniform, let's say, like already ripped off and used as a tourniquet, and would know that because he's a cop, and like he explained later, he's a cop. And they have like pretty decent effects for like the actual kills and the gore, like maybe not so much with like the actual traps unless they're like just a gun or something.
Yeah, it's a lot of like weird early CGI spikes, like money for nothing, like level.
Yeah, which I can't fault it. It was like a budget film from like an indie film studio in Canada in the late 90s.
Well,
like
the way they were able to do it is that it's just that one room, and they just changed the lights on it, which is like something that in the sequel, like all the rooms in the cube are just white.
Yeah.
So they just saved money there, I guess.
Yeah.
And it looks
and imagination.
It looks worse.
Yeah.
Like in every way. But and then Cube 3, like they sort of go back to that like sort of industrial look, but it's still different. Like the doors are circular and stuff like that. It's like not quite the same.
Is that the one?
Each Cube movie takes place in its own universe.
Yeah, probably. Is that the one where the guy gets sprayed and he's like, water? What? And then he just melts?
Yeah. That's the one with the truly hilarious kills. Like the one of the guy who goes in that room and goes, as seen in our Too Many Spider-Man review. Go look at that.
That's what I did.
But, so in 3 Cube, something I floated earlier to Steve, and I'm kind of hesitant to even say this because I've always thought it would just be a genuinely good idea in general. But
wow, 2 good ideas in the show, or the whole idea is that we pitch shit movies.
Oh, we're slipping. We're actually heading into actual pitch territory.
Oh no, we got our veil of irony is lifted. We actually have to do something.
But I think it'd be a cool idea if in 3 Cube, if instead of other rooms being traps, if they were like sort of VR simulations and there was like some sort of goal that you had to complete before you could get out of the room, and you do die if you don't complete it, and sort of maybe as they go along they could sort of see that like the key to it is somebody needs to die. There always needs to be somebody who dies in some way for them to get out of the room, and it becomes this sort of tool to they basically realize it's this tool to analyze how people react to situations.
Yeah.
And like see if people like start sacrificing people once they know that that's what they have to do to get out. And you could do something interesting with that. And let's say our cast of characters is we've got like 4 people in the cube.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to keep it a bit smaller. Like the second one had like what, 8?
Maybe something like that. Yeah, there were like a lot of people in that one.
Like in the first one, it was like a handful, maybe a bit more than 4, but like it doesn't matter because they usually died as soon as they were introduced anyway.
It gets down to 4 pretty quick. So we'll start off with 6, and then we'll get down to 4 who are through the main crux of the movie.
Yeah.
And so I guess you'll pick 3 people to be in the movie, and I'll pick 3 people to be in the movie. This is an instance where we don't really have to worry about characters so much, but just people we want in this movie. So my 3 are, I want John Turturro.
Mm-hmm. He'd be pretty good.
I want. Fuck it, we'll just go on the Cohen train. I want Frances McDormand, since she kind of. There's that one lady in the first Cube movie, kind of looks like Frances McDormand. So this will play. She'll be the connection. She'll be that character's sister who came into the Cube to try and find her.
Yeah.
And just eventually finds her skeleton. She just looks at the skeleton and goes, "That's her." I know those bones anywhere.
You got fat hands. You don't got skinny hands like me, your sister.
Just picks up the skeleton and starts rattling it. You got fat, bony hands. So,
this finds her at the bottom of an elevator shaft.
John Turturro, Frances McDormand, and Sinbad. Sinbad plays the brother of Quentin.
Yeah.
From the first movie.
Yeah. And then he lost his sidekick, Rob Thomas, of Matchbox 20.
He's just trying to find Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20 in the Cube. That's his whole goal.
Nice.
So those are my three. What three people do you want to be in the movie?
Okay, so I'm thinking Yuri Lowenthal. He's like does stunt work and stuff, so he could like do all the climbing around. And I mean, he is a bit older, but it doesn't really matter. He also has that boyish, rugged charm. For those of you who don't know, Yuri Lowenthal like was in the Persona series as Yosuke, and he played like Spider-Man in the recent game. And he does like his own stunts and stuff. I think he was on Power Rangers, so like he'd be pretty good. And he also has that. He's also voiced like every other like NPC in fucking Fallout. He's the guy that's like, oh yeah, who won the lottery? I did. And I think there should be a similar thing where like he immediately just fucking eats shit as soon as you celebrate something. He's like, oh yeah, I figured it out. Won the only lottery that matters. Dolph Lundgren's lottery. It matters. And then he falls out of an elevator shaft or something. Speaking of falling out of elevator shafts, I think Charlie Sheen would be a good pick.
He's like the asshole who like makes it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
I don't want him to.
Yeah. And I don't know. Maybe maybe not
Dolph
him.
Lundgren.
Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe not Charlie Sheen. Maybe like I don't know. J.K. Simmons or like a fucking John Malkovich, some kind of asshole guy, like an older curmudgeonly guy.
I think John Malkovich would be good.
John Malkovich would be pretty good. Although I kind of hesitant on that because he's basically his character from like Bird Box, and that movie fucking sucks.
We have to find a way out of the Cube. They did not laugh when I told them my joke.
Yeah, John Malkovich did nothing wrong. He's right that entire movie. He's the only fucking likable character aside from like, I don't know, the guy that was from Us.
Oh yeah, he just gets written out of the movie, so it just like just charges at him and just like, oh, I guess he's dead now. Okay.
Yeah, he was literally like the comic relief, like because he was typecast as the comic relief in like Jordan Peele's thing. It was Get Out.
He's just doomed to be the comic relief and everything.
Yeah, but he was like comic relief in a movie where it didn't even really work. Like he was a scared guy, and he had more. That trope was handled with more like nuance and fucking Get Out than it was, which was more of a parody of / commentary on horror shit while being its own thing than an actual fucking something trying to be a horror movie.
I like that moment in Bird Box where John Malkovich is in the store and he like gets the bottle and he goes,
yeah.
"You're making the end of the world great again."
Yeah.
And then you can just feel everybody who
collectively groan.
Well, just everybody in the production team like, we got it. Great job. Good job. Got it. Great.
Yeah, really topical. Very quirky. Oh, see, this guy is the asshole guy because he makes a MAGA thing.
And then just whenever you're just listening out to the wind, they say to this day you could still hear just somebody watching Bird Box for the first time and getting to that line and just going, ugh.
Yeah, they're going, yuck.
Wait, let me... It's just a solid block.
Yeah, it's as solid as a block. Solid as a cube, one would say. I don't know. So we have John Malkovich, we have Yuri Lowenthal, and we have
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren. We have I don't know, fucking I don't know. There's another female to balance it out, I guess, because there were 2 females in the original movie, and then the rest was like Sausage Party.
Octavia Spencer.
Who's she again?
She was Ma. She was also in Spider-Man. She was in The Help. She was in Spider-Man. She was the lady.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like you're a scrawny boy.
Yep.
You're gonna go fight Randy Savage.
Yeah.
You're gonna say homophobic stuff to him.
Yeah, wasn't she also in like Snowpiercer?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
she was
I
like
believe so.
she was in the back
she
of the
was.
train.
Yeah, she was.
I think she died unfortunately in that movie. Maybe either her or like Imogene Poots or something. Like someone that's like kind of like
I'd like to see Imogen Poots in anything. I don't know why she's not in more stuff I watch, because she's great in everything I've seen her in.
Yeah, or how about who played Maybe in Arrested Development? Lily Shawkat?
Yeah, Lee Shawkat.
Yeah, she'd be pretty good, I think.
So all those people, they just keep cycling in and out.
Yeah, basically. Like I think it'd be cool to like have like two groups, and like the ones is like they have like a clashing of like ideologies. It's like, yeah, fuck you, we're gonna do it our way, and like you don't really follow them, and then like the comeback is like, holy shit, you survived. It's like, yeah, but I was the only one.
It could be interesting, actually, if you get, like, the story of 2 groups of people who are trapped in the cube.
Yeah.
And they're sort of, like, parallel, like, you just keep seeing bits and pieces of each of them.
Yeah.
And then, by the end of it, you realize that the one group, like their story happened years earlier, and they're all dead.
Yeah.
And then just, like, the other group finds, like, their skeletons or whatever, just, like, in the back. But of course, skeletons aren't real. So
yeah, no.
I don't know how they would have found them or how they would have gotten there. But just like through some mystical magic that the cube has.
Yeah, you know, time's convoluted in the cube, so.
And it can make fictional creatures.
Oh, that'd be the spookiest twist of all.
And if we're going with like actually trying to make this an interesting movie, I'd say it should be directed. I'd say probably written and directed by Alex Garland.
Yeah.
He made Ex Machina.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Annihilation, and he like wrote like 28 Days Later and a bunch of other shit.
Who directed Blade Runner 2049?
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he actually does really well with like large sort of scale stuff. Even his like smaller scale stories, they have that thing where it's like you can tell that like they're working with like a little bit of money. Like Enemy's an incredibly small scale story.
Yeah, small and it's stale.
Yeah, it's small scale Stella. But like they still get like these big shots of like Toronto and stuff like that they could superimpose giant images of spiders on.
Yeah.
Go watch Enemy. Spiders make me uncomfortable, so it's weird that it's one of my favorite movies, but it is. But yeah, no, he could be a good choice too if you were suggesting him.
Yeah, maybe that. I don't know who would write it though.
Grimbo.
Grimba.
We'll get Ari Aster to write it
Yeah, sure.
exclusively. And of course we got to get the Cube theme song. Which what song can we bastardize to make into the Cube theme song?
It takes Cube to make a thing go right.
It takes Cube to make it out of sight.
I want a cube. I want to get out right now.
I want to get out now. I want to get out now. Yeah, so that's the Cube theme song.
It's performed by Will Smith.
So yeah, I think that pretty much covers the Cube session portion of this pitch, which brings us now to our final segment in the show, recommendations. Steve, is there anything you want to recommend to people this week?
Yeah, let's watch Elfette.
Oh yeah, go on Amazon Prime and watch Elfette. We watched a few minutes of this fucking movie on Amazon, and it was batshit insane. And we're definitely going to be coming back to that.
Yeah, very timely post-Thanksgiving Christmas. Oh, it is almost Christmas.
It is almost Christmas. It's almost Thanksgiving. That fucking blew my mind when I just looked down at the calendar. I'm like, what the fuck?
I know, right? So it'll be perfect for your holiday jeers, and that'll be introducing us into Pitchmas, but we'll get to that later.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get 4 episodes of Pitchmas.
Yeah.
On the first day of Pitchmas, my true love gave to me a divorce settlement
And a case of Hep C.
So yeah, go watch Elfette. I've been playing the New Vegas DLC, so go play DLC for a game from 10 years ago.
Hell yeah. I've also still been playing Yakuza 7. There's a little sub story in there where there's a masked killer, and everyone thinks he's all a butcher and stuff, and he's wearing a hockey mask and he's got an apron. His name is GA, and then you can summon him. It's all a big misunderstanding. He's just an actual butcher, and he practices outside because he doesn't want to get his room all bloody because he's like bad at being a butcher. He's butchering being a butcher, but he's inheriting it from his father and stuff, and it's all a big sad event. So you beat him up, and then he becomes your friend, and then he goes out to drink, and it's like, it's kind of weird that he's walking down the street in the middle of the night with still wearing bloody rags and a hockey mask. He used to be an amateur hockey player, I get it, but can't you take off the mask? And then some lady's like, and then like the guy escorting him. Hibby. And the guy escorting
Hi, Sandra.
Hi. Where are you from? I'm from America. And the guy escorting him is like, no, don't be afraid. He's just practicing his cuss. He's like, that doesn't make it any better. Get away from me. And then you can summon him on a service called Pound Maids, which there's a wacky mix-up earlier in the game where your one of your best friends is like, hey, let's check out this flyer for an escort service. And you go to call it up, and then this big burly dude just shows up and starts a fight with you. And apparently it's a service where you call them up and they help you in fights. And GA gets to be a part of the Pound Maid selection. And because the word san is an honorific for like Mr. in Japanese, so guess what his name is? GA-san.
Perfect.
I fucking love Yakuza, dude. Play some Yakuza. We're gonna be watching Elfet probably at some point. We might make it something on that. We might not. Play some fucking New Vegas. They're always making mods for that shit on the Nexus.
I will say, I think Tenet is like on VOD or Blu-ray or something.
Sweet.
So you could go watch that. We saw it we went to a drive-in theater and ate chicken in the back of an SUV.
And then we didn't watch Unhinged, which is still playing in theaters. I passed by the Regal. I passed by the Regal when I was going to New Hope the other day, and they were still playing Tenet. They were playing Unhinged. And they were playing some other shit that was basically just Unhinged.
That shows you how few fucking movies have actually made it to theaters.
Yeah, and how few people are going to theaters to keep that shit in the rotation.
Oh god, I'm so worried about the future.
Yeah.
It'll probably just become like a luxury expense like the opera or a play or something like that.
Yeah.
But, god, I wish that wasn't the case because I love the theater.
That was weird because like I remember like Cinemark used to play like opera stuff, like one-offs.
Oh yeah, they do like something events.
Yeah.
Fathom events.
That's the one.
Yeah, no, they did. They would also do like riff tracks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like me and James were gonna go to one once, and it was like $30 a ticket. We're like, fuck that. Let's go see Penguins of Madagascar.
Yeah,
and
dude.
we did, and we were the only people in the theater.
Hell yeah. Like the riff track stuff, like I get it, but like why is it so expensive? Like if they were there live, that'd be worth it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like if that had been like an $8 ticket, I'm like, oh yeah, of course I'll go see that. It's like,
yeah,
it's not as good as Mystery Science Theater, but it's interesting.
Yeah, like they had the room there, and like they had the room riff tracks, and then like a few months later they had the actual showing of the room as like a one-off thing, and like you got to do like your whole midnight screening shit. I was so pissed because I forgot my fucking plastic to stop at Dollar Tree to get some plastic spoons, and everyone was fucking throwing the plastic spoons in spades so I could pick up more plastic spoons off the sticky icky floor.
You're just running on the floor just so you could throw them again.
Just up the aisles.
But yeah, so go watch The Room.
Yeah.
No, I don't really have too much to suggest. I've been watching Haunting of Bly Manor. I'm enjoying it in some ways more than Hill House so far, but
speaking of The Room.
Yeah, speaking of The Room.
Friend of the show, Greg Sestero, is in the first episode, and he barely has any speaking lines.
But so far it's pretty interesting. I like that one's based off The Turn of the Screw, and that must just be one of those like iconic ghost stories that just through cultural osmosis, just like any ghost story, kind of picks up hints of. Because like there was a part of it where I'm watching and I just instantly sort of like guessed. I'm like, I think that kid's possessed by the ghost of an older man, and like that is how that story like plays out. Mm-hmm. But I haven't read it. I haven't seen any movies based off it. I'm just like I just know that somehow, and that's weird. But, so I guess watch Bly Manor, play New Vegas, play Doom Eternal, because I'm also playing that still. play Minecraft, because maybe I might actually open up my Minecraft world eventually. I'm building a bunch of cities and stuff like that, so maybe I'll open up, and if any of our Pitch Shift fans play it, they can come and they can visit the Pitch Shift Tower. There is a huge ass tower. Maybe I'll make that the Pitch Shift Tower.
Yeah, we'll make rooms based off of all of our inside jokes and all of the stuff we were talking about.
Oh, we'll make a statue to Makey Outie. But yeah, before we ramble on too much longer, so that concludes the show. Thanks so much for watching. Oh yeah, for those of you watching, if you could see my hat here, this what's it say? Not all sense is common, I believe. Yes, not all sense is common. This I got from my uncle, my black uncle, which is a weird thing for someone as white as me to have.
Your blunkle.
My blunkle, and
Getting a blumpkin.
he has a store on Etsy. It's called Stormy Nights by Lewis. I'll put stuff, linking to it in the description and stuff. If you could go order his stuff, he makes, this is a really nice hat. I really like this. And he has a whole bunch of cool stuff on there, some clothing and stuff. So if you could go show him some love, he's legitimately one of the coolest fucking people I've ever met. Like, he's a drummer, he's a baker, he baked the cake for the wedding. Like, he played drums at his wedding to my aunt.
Nice.
Like, he played Hard to Handle by the Black Crowes, or whoever originally recorded that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to go support him and some, tell him the boys from Pitch Shift sent you, and he won't know what you're talking about, because nobody in my family has been told about this. I keep this under wraps, under all costs. I'll just come to them with anything, be like, I'm gay. I'm not. But if that covers up them finding out about Pitch Shift for a little bit, then I'll do anything.
Yeah,
you're the inevitable.
Yeah, your dad will be knocking on your door, watching you edit this. Is like, what are you looking at? Your porn?
I just pushed my computer out the window. Nothing. I don't even know how to internet.
Who are you?
But yeah, so thanks so much for listening to Pitch Shift. Phoebe thanks you. If you notice, she's been laying on me this entire episode. So I'm going to have to get up now and disturb her, and that's going to make me sad. But thanks so much for watching, guys.
We're going to play some Disturbed in her ear. Have a good one.
See you later, guys. Thanks so much for listening.